Picture this. You walk into your local coffee shop. You order your usual, reach into your pocket, and instead of pulling out a credit card, you decide you want to pay with your crypto. I mean, it's the ultimate dream of decentralized finance, right? But then, well, reality hits. Are you really going to stand there for 5 minutes waiting for a block to confirm? Are you going to pay a transaction fee that literally costs more than the coffee itself? For a really long time, the answer was a frustrating yes. But what if you could actually buy everyday things with ADA, fast, cheap, and in a way that actually makes sense? That is exactly the question we're tackling today.
Welcome to today's Explainer. I am so incredibly excited to guide you through this deep dive into a really fascinating Catalyst Fund 12 project completion report by Blazar Labs. This project, known as Blazar Hydra, isn't just another theoretical white paper. It's a genuine attempt to bridge the gap between the complex backend of the Cardano blockchain and the very real, physical counter of your local coffee shop. We're going to look at how they took decentralized finance and pushed it all the way to the retail edge with contactless micropayments.
Here is our roadmap for the Explainer today. Number 1, the retail crypto problem. Number 2, the Hydra Layer 2 solution. Number 3, unboxing the tangible hardware. 4, proof in the pre-prod. 5, overcoming development hurdles. And wrapping it all up with number 6, the future of scaling.
Part 1, the retail crypto problem. Moving beyond scaling theory.
So for years, the blockchain space has been completely obsessed with scaling theory. But, at a certain point, theory has to meet practice. Just imagine a sleek crypto point-of-sale terminal featuring a simple scan code and really clear branding. It immediately lets the customer know they can pay right here, right now using ADA, the USDM stablecoin, or even Bitcoin. The goal here is simple but profound. Turning Cardano from a digital ledger into a practical, everyday payment network that any merchant can easily adopt and any customer can instantly recognize.
Moving on to Part 2, the Hydra Layer 2 solution. Let's look under the hood.
Obviously, just slapping a QR code on a counter doesn't magically make the blockchain faster, right? Blazar actually had to leverage some serious tech here. Thinking about the technical architecture, it starts with the user on their mobile wallet app. That connects to a physical IoT point-of-sale terminal, which is actually powered by a Raspberry Pi and communicates via Bluetooth Low Energy or NFC. Then, that connects to the merchant's web app. The real magic, though, happens on the back end. The system routes those rapid, day-to-day transactions through the off-chain Hydra Head Layer 2, while all the heavy lifting of final settlement and ultimate security remains anchored firmly on the Cardano Layer 1 base chain.
So the absolutely crucial point here is understanding how these two layers actually interact. Honestly, think of it just like opening a bar tab. Step 1. A small group opens a Hydra Head off-chain. That's exactly like handing the bartender your card to open the tab. Step 2. You make fast, incredibly low-cost transactions all night long. You just tap your phone via BLE or NFC for a drink, then another and another, no waiting, no massive fees. Finally, Step 3. At the end of the night, you close the tab. The final, consolidated state of all those individual micropayments is settled back onto the slower, highly secure Cardano Layer 1. You basically get all the speed of off-chain with the ironclad security of the main chain. It's brilliant.
Part 3, unboxing the tangible hardware, a real, actual product. Now, as much as I love a good architectural diagram, it's time to talk about the physical tech MVP they actually brought into the real world. We're talking retail-ready packaging and a really sleek physical point-of-sale device. This isn't just a breadboard with some wires sticking out of it. It looks like a premium product you'd buy at a high-end tech store. Inside that branded box is a battery-powered device equipped with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth Low Energy, and NFC capabilities, completely untethered and ready to sit right on a merchant's counter.
And get this, Blazar didn't just build one lucky prototype. They produced a stack of 5 complete units. 5. Physical, branded boxes, alongside beautifully printed user manuals containing all the required documentation. In the Web3 space, we see a lot of vaporware, so highlighting this is absolutely essential. It proves Blazar Labs delivered a tangible, real-world product that is ready to be placed in the hands of actual merchants.
Part 4, proof in the pre-prod, receipts and reality.
Having physical hardware fantastic, sure, but it's basically an expensive paperweight if it doesn't communicate with the blockchain. To prove this works end-to-end, they did a live demo. Imagine a clean, super intuitive user wallet interface where you can fund, hold, and pay, clearly seeing your ADA balance alongside USD equivalents. Then, imagine the actual tap-to-pay action happening at a terminal out in the wild at Laguna Park. A customer literally tapped their phone to the physical terminal, and the transaction processed seamlessly.
And of course, in the spirit of blockchain transparency, we brought the receipts. We're talking actual, verified on-chain transaction ID hashes from their tests on the Cardano pre-prod environment. You can track 4 distinct deposit transactions. The backend for this was actually built in collaboration with TXPipe, which handled all the complex accounting logic and state transitions between Layer 1 and the Hydra layer. The data here simply speaks for itself.
Which brings us to the most important number in this entire explainer: 0. Literally 0 failed deposits out of all the on-chain preprod tests they ran. A perfect success rate for the fundamental deposit lifecycle, and not only did it perform flawlessly in tests, but the entire system was also independently audited by Entangled Labs. That audit found 0 critical issues, and Blazar successfully remediated the medium to high application issues that did pop up. It's a massive, massive win for the stability of their MVP.
Part 5. Overcoming Development Hurdles, the Gritty Reality.
Now, as much as we love a flawless test run, let's be real. Building on the bleeding edge of Web3 is incredibly tough. Building on a blockchain that is actively evolving means you are basically trying to hit a moving target. Over the course of this project, the Blazar team had to keep their solution in perfect sync across 3 separate Cardano hard forks: Chang, Plowman, and Van Rossum. Imagine building a really complex machine, and 3 times during construction, the fundamental laws of physics are just slightly updated. They had to rework their solution 3 separate times just to stay compatible. That represents an immense amount of friction and invisible labor.
And beyond the hard forks, they tackled several other major hurdles too. They encountered a really frustrating deposit expiry funding bug, but instead of just patching it quietly and moving on, they found it, fixed it, and reported it upstream to the wider developer community, resulting in 0 recurrences afterward. They also did the hard, unglamorous work of measuring the real, practical limits of Hydra user fanout and head capacity, feeding this vital data right back into the ecosystem. And like we mentioned, they took that Entangled Labs audit seriously, fully hardening the application by fixing all the identified security issues. They truly paved the road for everyone else.
Finally, Part 6, the future of scaling, infrastructure and economics.
So the MVP is built, it works perfectly, and it's audited. But what happens next? Well, the biggest bottleneck they identified is a pretty simple scaling constraint. A single Hydra Head is fantastic, for sure, but it only serves a limited, theoretical maximum number of users, somewhere around 80 according to their notes. So as consumer demand grows, you can't just infinitely cram more people into one single head. More users require spinning up more Hydra Heads, and every additional head means more physical and cloud infrastructure to maintain. It's a really complex economic puzzle to solve for wide-scale merchant adoption.
Because of that limited capacity, and let's be honest, a significant drop in the price of ADA, Blazar Labs has actually paused the business development and commercial rollout of this specific terminal for now. But, and this is a massive but, the MVP they delivered is completely finished, thoroughly audited, and fully open source under the Apache 2.0 license on GitHub. The technology absolutely lives on. In fact, a follow-on Catalyst project is already continuing the tech development for native tokens and horizontal scaling. They built a working foundation, and they basically gave it to the Cardano community for free.
Which leaves us with one final, incredibly exciting prospect. In their completion report, the team mentions they're exploring something called Hydrozoa as a potential future core technology. Could this be the architectural shift needed to fundamentally change those infrastructure economics we just talked about? Could this be the key that finally scales this tech efficiently enough to bring ADA to literally every local coffee shop counter? It's a fascinating question, and it is a path well worth watching as the ecosystem continues to build on Blazar's open source foundation. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next deep dive.